A lot of these don't have titles because I kind of do that last sometimes. So I'm sorry for that. This doesn't have a title. Over a citywide and bad tacos, Adam explains to me that alligators' chromosomes do not deteriorate with age, so if they are not injured or killed, they can theoretically live forever. And for weeks, I cannot stop thinking about this fact. Elon Musk wreaks havoc on a social media platform. Jeff Bezos does whatever he is doing at the moment. I cannot be bothered. The telomeres at the end of their chromosomes are going to decay and they will die. Alligators are biologically immortal and I'm supposed to care about market forces? Adam says he got too high recently and couldn't stop thinking that he could have been a rock, but here he is piloting this monkey suit. I take a sip of my Tecate and curse everyone in human history who has ever cut short the life of an alligator. Thank you. I don't like the title of this one, so I'm going to go with it. Also doesn't have a title. Sudden vague memory of playing with troll dolls in an airport. Everything that happened to me is in there somewhere. How wild. To be a person is the goal, but which one? Eric names his sculpture The Origin of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. A South Korean cult leaves free tickets to a concert on his South Philly doorstep, and it's down the rabbit hole again. It figures, though. Who throws a Christmas concert in September? We are obsessed with the same things, but separately. Adrian writes, the more I live, the more I think two people together is a miracle. Everything I want to be contradicts itself. I hurt myself in my confusion. Only 90s kids will understand. They told us we could be anything. Nothing is our fault if you think about it. There's a Pokemon reference in there. I don't know if anyone got that, but now you know. Amy and I are the same, says Brianna, and she's telling the truth. Tells me not to give away our secrets, and I smile. It has been 4 years and a pandemic since we've been on the same coast, but we are the same as we were at 18. We see the same look of recognition in each other's face. It is a relief to be known fully and loved, a harder thing to acquire these days. Watching Rango with her stepkids, Johnny Depp as chameleon cowboy says, "Who am I? I could be anyone." And I feel it too, the urge to blend into the background of one's own life. My name means beloved, but I hear it as a command. Be loved or be nameless. My shaky identity dances with yours, and isn't it romantic? Taking photos of Mount Rainier from my window seat, we are all so privileged to draw breath, and isn't the rest just extra? At the stage door, a man asks if I'm an actress. And I tell him I'm not. You can't be anything other than what you are, but you can waste your time trying if you want. I don't need anyone to tell me who I am anymore, and it's why I left. At work, the entrepreneur who's bought the restaurant gives a speech on the irrelevance of being right, and I pretend it's profound. Later, I wait on a man who tells me his father invented the scrunchie. I pretend to believe him, though the scrunchie's real inventor, a nightclub singer named Rami, passed away just days before. He buys 6 bottles of wine, tips $500 in cash, asks if I'd like to go to Martha's Vineyard. And maybe if I believed that being right was irrelevant, I wouldn't need his money, but it wouldn't make it true. This is another service industry poem. 14 hours into a double, and Alex says enthusiastically, "Who's ready to move some tables?" Alex says we're all in this together, that management has also been working 60-hour weeks. Alex is a good person, he gives all of himself to the job. Alex is a good worker, he becomes a manager. I draw a line around myself. I wanted to be a good person. I was taught this meant a good worker. I wanted to be a team player. He is not wrong, we are all in this together. It consumes us all equally. Abdo paints so beautifully but cannot find the time. Brian demonstrates his value to the company. The company decides they can get more out of him as a server and asks that he cancel his business trip because they need him on the floor for the weekend. When I have the time, I think about what it means to be a good person. When I have the time, I understand it has nothing to do with being a good worker. I draw a line around myself because it's all I can do, and regret that I cannot draw a line around us all. I want to be a good person. We are all in this together. It will consume us all equally. Also untitled. Spencer asks how I knew to juxtapose two images in a poem. I wonder what I'll say from moment to moment. To my coworkers, to my mother, to myself. No flower like that flower that demonstrated such loyalty to her employer. What could be more important than selecting the right Christmas gifts? I serve myself up on a platter. In the end, there's nothing left, but everyone is full. I tell the student it matters less what I intended than what he gets from it. These pages are for you if you want them. I love you so much. No matter who I am, no matter what I say, I promise with everything I have. I just have two more. And neither of them have titles. I really need to go through and figure this shit out. This is about a trip to the beach a couple years ago. I walked down to the water, glasses still on my head, thinking I won't go out far enough for it to matter, then inching farther and farther until a wave hits me just hard enough to knock them off and they're gone in an instant. I walk back to the blanket where you've risen from your nap, tell you I lost them because I'm an idiot. If someone had told me 5 years ago that I'd be here with you finally after so much struggle, I would have thought, well, it will all have been worth it. But I fell in love with you without reassurance or promise that it would be, and aren't I still that same person, walking straight into the ocean, glasses on, consequences be damned. You think you know how far out the current will take you, but of course you never do. On the boardwalk you help me look for a new pair of glasses, buy a saltwater taffy, and people watch. I am generally a risk-averse person, but also an oblivious klutz. This isn't a story about how I lost my favorite sunglasses. I don't care enough about sunglasses for that story to be worth telling. The story is about how you can fight who you are and stay on the shore or walk into the ocean. You can go to the people you love or play it safe. I have caused myself so much pain and loss by going where my heart wants to, but if I hadn't, what would have been the point at all? The lesson in the ocean is that this could all disappear in an instant. You don't know what will happen to you ever, but you can know who you are and go where you're pulled and hope that it's worth what you lose. And know that you are all that you had in the first place. And this life is meant to be spent in whatever way most expands your understanding of that terrifying and wonderful fact. This is the last one. I wrote it in response to a prompt from House Poet, which is a wonderful series run by Warren Longmire. If you don't already know, you should look into it. The theme of the event was sunsets. 3 years ago, I wrapped my mouth in cloth and walked to the waterfront. I'd pick a bench from which to wait out the end of the day or the world, suppress the sudden urge to hug my mother. We didn't know what we had until it was gone, and then it was gone. But if I sat there long enough, where else was I going to go but home anyway? Whatever day it was, no one knew anymore, would go up in flames. Skyline silhouetting itself against yellow, then orange, sun going down on all our little plans. It was so beautiful, and I was so alone. We had just fallen in love, and you were on the other side of the river. Later, an attack on the Capitol, later the loss of a friend. Later, we fell out of love and back again. You'd think we would have learned not to take things for granted. Our love-making trip after trip across the river. Once that first summer, I walked all the way across the bridge, through the city, and into your arms. When I finally made it, I was so tired. Today, I hugged my mother. When the sun goes down, I will follow my heart back across the bridge. It seems we can't learn without losing, and even then often forget the lesson. I still don't ever know what day of the week it is. The sun goes down on all my little plans. Where else am I going to go but home?